The 2026 Los Angeles Marathon ended with a moment so dramatic that even seasoned race commentators were left stunned. After running 26.2 grueling miles, victory came down to something almost impossible to measure, just 1/100th of a second. And in those final heart-stopping seconds, American runner Nathan Martin did something nobody expected. He surged forward, crossed the finish line, and instantly made history. But what happened to the runner he defeated only seconds later turned the moment into one of the most intense scenes ever witnessed in marathon racing. Because right after the finish, everything changed. The final moments of the race looked like something straight out of a movie. As the runners approached the finish line on Santa Monica Boulevard, spectators could see two figures rapidly closing the distance. Kenya's Kimani Kamau had been leading, holding his advantage for much of the race. But suddenly, Nathan Martin appeared right behind him. Stride for stride, they sprinted toward the tape. Thousands of spectators started shouting as the gap disappeared. Cameras struggled to keep up with the two exhausted athletes pushing every ounce of energy left in their bodies. Then it happened. Martin lunged forward at the exact moment Kamau reached the line. For a split second, nobody knew who had actually won. Even the crowd seemed frozen, unsure of what they had just witnessed. But when the official timing flashed on the screen, the results stunned everyone. Nathan Martin had won the Los Angeles Marathon by just 0.01 seconds, the closest finish in the race's entire history. But while Martin celebrated the victory, the scene behind him suddenly turned serious. Because just moments after crossing the line, Kimani Kamau collapsed. Spectators watched in shock as the exhausted runner fell to the ground. Medical staff immediately rushed toward him, surrounding him as the crowd fell silent. Kamau had pushed his body to the absolute limit. After leading much of the race, losing by such a tiny margin took everything he had left. Reports say he was quickly placed on a stretcher and attended to by medical personnel. The moment quickly spread online, with fans expressing both concern and admiration for the runner's incredible effort. For many watching, it was a powerful reminder of how brutal marathon racing can be. But what most people didn't realize was that Nathan Martin's victory almost never happened. Because earlier in the race, things looked completely different. With about 5 miles remaining, the pace had slowed. Runners were watching each other carefully, waiting for someone to make the first move. That's when Martin noticed something important. Nobody was pushing. So he made a decision that would change everything. Martin later revealed that he decided to increase the pace himself, forcing the race into a new rhythm. It was a risky move. At that point in the marathon, many runners are simply trying to survive the final miles. But Martin wasn't thinking about survival. He was thinking about victory. As the miles passed, his strategy slowly started working. Then with about 1.5 miles remaining, he finally saw the race leader in the distance. Kimani Kamau. That's when Martin realized something incredible. He might actually catch him. With just 800 meters left, the gap kept shrinking. The crowd began to notice the chase unfolding, and the energy along the route exploded. And what followed would become one of the most unforgettable finishes the Los Angeles Marathon has ever seen. But Martin's win carried another surprising meaning. Because it marked a major moment for American distance running. Historically, marathon races like this have often been dominated by athletes from East Africa, particularly Kenya and Ethiopia. Their runners have set countless records and claimed many victories across the world's biggest marathons. Yet in recent years, something interesting has started happening in Los Angeles. American runners are beginning to win again. Nathan Martin's victory made him the second consecutive American champion of the LA Marathon. Just a year earlier, another American athlete, Matthew Richtman, had taken the title with one of the fastest times ever recorded on the course. For fans of American distance running, it was a powerful sign that the competition is evolving. But the men's race wasn't the only story unfolding that morning. Because another athlete quietly delivered an incredible performance on the women's side of the race. Her name is Priska Cherono. And at 45 years old, she stunned the entire field. From the very start of the women's race, Sharono took control. By the 9th mile, she had already built a lead of nearly 2 minutes over the rest of the competitors. Most runners would struggle to maintain such a pace. But Sharono never slowed down. She powered through the course and crossed the finish line in 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 18 seconds, claiming the women's title in dominant fashion. Her victory also earned her a $10,000 bonus in a special competition called the Marathon Chase, where female runners are given a head start and the first runner overall to cross the line wins the bonus. It was an impressive moment for the veteran runner, who once represented Kenya in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. But here's something even more surprising about this year's race. It almost happened at a completely different time. Normally, the Los Angeles Marathon takes place on the third Sunday in March. But in 2026, organizers made a sudden decision to move it a week earlier. And the reason had everything to do with Hollywood. The marathon route runs directly past the Dolby Theater, the iconic venue where the Academy Awards are held every year. With the Oscars scheduled for March 15th, officials worried that the massive security setup and street closures could cause major problems for both events. So the race was shifted forward to avoid a clash between thousands of runners and Hollywood's biggest night. In the end, the decision worked. More than 27,000 runners took part in the 41st Los Angeles Marathon, traveling from Dodger Stadium all the way to Century City. But out of those thousands of participants, one moment now stands above everything else. 2 runners, 1 finish line, and a victory decided by just a single stride. Nathan Martin's final surge proved that even after running more than 26 miles, the race isn't over until the very last step. And for everyone who witnessed that incredible finish, one thing became clear. Sometimes history isn't made by minutes, or even seconds. Sometimes it's made by 1/100th of a second. And moments like that are exactly why people never stop watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and tell us in the comments. Do you think this was the most dramatic marathon finish ever recorded?